I sort of had a little plan here, so I'm going to go ahead and start and do that. I'm just going to start with what I do the most, you guys, if that's okay, which is just
Yeah.
some quick
Yeah.
food
Okay.
photos, and then we'll go into the whole ethics thing, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because I did it. These are just all from the past year. So I went to the past year and just picked out a few photos to show you what's going on. And it started with this is that oh gosh.
Single thread?
No,
No.
the Sonoma one. I've forgotten
Oh,
already. Uh, oh my goodness.
I saw it in the paper too, and I don't remember what the place
Yeah,
is.
so this one was it opened in January and then became a two-star Michelin restaurant by, I think it was June or July. So only 6 months open. It was pretty amazing. But I love this one because the actual food item is about the size, the circumference is about the size of a 50-cent piece.
oh.
So, and all the food basically was this tiny. And it turned out to be a very hard shoot, but the, this one, I knew this one I had to get right. So this one I spent a lot of time trying to make the angle, the food see, to see the whole thing. And so I was spinning that darn antler a lot for a while. Um, Again,
Oh,
single threads. The coolest part of my job is so this is sort of the end phase of my career and it's all food. And basically when we lost our photo editor and we lost the all the old editors, so we brought in somebody in 21, so 5 years ago, that wasn't like had been here for 30 years. And that editor kind of changed everything. And so we got rid of our photo editor. So we no longer have a photo editor.
mm.
Um, we we were removed from the newsroom. So instead of having a workstation, we work from home now.
Oh,
Hmm.
interesting.
Yeah, and so everything changed, and we kind of became, it turns out, what other papers were like that were our size. And I hadn't quite realized how special it was here. We were owned by the New York Times, and they gave us a lot of money, and I got to do some amazing things because of that. Um, uh, but with this new era, it's not a photo editor running it. So, and we're not directly talking to writers anymore. So the biggest problem is sort of that connection and knowing what image we should have with a story. And
Hmm.
that's where we've sort of dropped way back and sort of gone back to the 1950s or something. And
Hmm.
so that part's unfortunate. And but what's happened is we've sort of our newsroom is being pared down like all the newsrooms the company has bought. So they bought everything along the North Coast except for the Chronicle, from Monterey all the way to the border. And their idea of saving newspapers, and they really do believe this, is that um, if they share stories between those newspapers, they can reduce staffs, save money, and still produce a newspaper. But basically, what we're doing is reducing ourselves to a watchdog organization. So we're
Mm.
doing a lot of shots of meetings and things like that. So we've lost the whole what I would call a slice of life story. So those little fun little stories about people, real people. And and in terms of covering uh, a meeting also, in the past, what we would do is hear about what's happening at the meeting and then find somebody involved in uh, that particular part of the meeting that we're interested in, and then tell the story through that single person. And instead of doing that, we just go to the meeting and take pictures of the council members and some people at a podium.
Hmm.
So, it became a whole new ball of wax doing it. So, and that's sort of where we're left. So I became, or my new boss came from TV. So there you just do one thing. So I am a food shooter, and I do some other things, but I probably do 60% food now.
Yeah.
So, and so this is the food. But the cool part is I get to go and see all the restaurants that I can never afford being a newspaper photographer.
How much do you
So,
get to eat?
huh?
How
Uh,
much do you get to sample?
well, it's single thread. It was nary a single bite until I did this story. So I think I'd been there 3 times and they didn't give me a single bite. And now I can't say that, which I love that line. Um, so this was a story on Kobe beef, and we have a cattle rancher in Knights Valley. I should have those photos too, but he's raising real Japanese Wagyu beef. Kobe? Yeah, Wagyu beef. And so these restaurants are using it. And the crazy part is that I went to go photograph this, and a disc went out on me, and I lost from single thread more than half of the shoot.
Oh, no.
I know it just was all corrupted, and I couldn't get it
Oh,
back. I
God.
got back some of it, but it got bad. So, and you can't go to them and say, "Hey, can you do that again?"
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Look at this.
So
Wow.
this is how they prepared the Wagyu. So it's three different ways. They do a broth. There's I forgot what the one in the back, it's a skewer of a different part of the animal. And then that tiny piece you see there, I got to share a third of it with two other people in the kitchen. So we all got a, a third of a bite there for that. But quite often people will give us the whole thing, they'll give us lots of stuff. Uh,
Oh, my.
so I'm trying to do closely. And then this is like Auberge de Soleil in Napa,
Mm.
which has been there forever and just beautiful place. So I get to see, and then I go to, this is the woman who's taken over the Jimtown
Oh,
store.
yeah.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Right.
Right. So she does dim sum. So I went to her house but mostly what I do are plates of food. They're just big plates of food. You hope to find a good background that somebody has. This was at the Redwood in Sebastopol, and they just happen to have that color there as a table.
Yeah, nice.
And it was a story on oranges, so it worked well with or using citrus in food. And so what you're hoping for is some magic with light and stuff because boy, I shoot so many plates of food, it gets really boring after a while. So you're hoping for something different and you can ask, you guys throw in questions about natural light or whatever you want on these different ones. So
That looks
um,
like a snake.
yeah, it's beautiful. I love shooting from the side because we have to shoot food so much from above. So
Hmm.
whenever I can shoot from the side, like a burger or
Yeah.
something, I'm always shooting a burger from the side. Can I
Do you
hide
take
this?
your own light with you?
Excuse me?
Do you take your own light sources with you?
Yeah, I'm trying to think whether this one looks like I lit it, but with natural light too. Because you can see in the bottle of the hot sauce, you can see my light on
Okay. Yeah.
one of them's a window. I don't put up two lights anymore, and I just use the Godox with a remote trigger and a foldable softbox for the most part,
Uh-huh. Oh, nice.
and it works fine. Now,
Yes.
One,
Yeah.
can I?
one light.
Okay, here. I can do that, right? No,
Nope.
that didn't do it.
There we go.
Most of the time, like this one, I'm sure this one is natural light because it's not too sharp. Can I get rid of this? Do you see this bottom thing here?
There.
Gone.
How do I
Gone.
get, can I get rid of it? It seems
It's all
like,
Gone
gone.
now
It's gone.
on my screen.
okay,
It's gone.
cool. Okay, good. I see it, but okay, how do I? Okay, so something happened and oh, there we go.
Oh,
Can you see it
wow.
now?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's cool.
no, just the image.
Just the image. Oh, great. And so, yeah, this is another thing we did. This is Dubai chocolate. So everything has some green in it. And this is a place in Pengrove, and they have a table that's sort of a drippy, that looks like it's made of drippy icing. And so I just put it in front of that. So anytime I can find something exciting to put in front or on, you know,
That's cool.
yeah, it's a motorcycle, right? And you go, why the hell is there food on a motorcycle? Well, it turns out you eat next to the motorcycles in this restaurant. So
Ah,
I get to do that. And if I get to do that, I'm gonna do it, for God's sake.
That's Panetti's in Forestville, right?
Yeah. And and luckily, this is the window light. I had to move the the motorcycle a little bit to get it into this kind of light. And then it's a question of I've got to be close enough so you can see the food, yet you've got to see the motorcycle too. And that took a long time to figure that angle out and how to
Beautiful.
put it there.
Mhm.
And it's still, I would like it a little bit more to the left, but it would have just fallen over if it was there.
Now, do you use a
Dawn,
2.8 lens or?
Yeah, I typically at first I would shoot a lot wide open, but I save that and then I use a Gaussian blur or something instead because I find that I want the depth of field more often than like if I don't shoot at a smaller depth of field, then I find the food just doesn't quite look right. So I have a little more control if I shoot it with a little more depth of field and then add blur later. But
mhm.
quite often I'll shoot if I know it's going to work uh, with a lot of blur, then I'll just shoot it wide open, if that makes sense. And then often I'll shoot like at 2, 8, 4, 5, 6, 8 for each shot, and then determine later which one to pick, right?
Okay.
It's only disk space, so I'm doing all that. And just I don't use a tripod because little tiny slight changes in position make all the difference in the world. So I like to try to gather as many different things as I can and then edit later, and one of them's going to pop.
Great, thanks.
And if I find things like this was
That's
like
great.
this was on the window out front. Uh, so the shadow came in and I'm moving the plates as I'm trying to figure out the shot because the shadow's moving. And I've got to get it. And that's why it's hard to use natural light that's moving in a restaurant because what you figure out 10 minutes ago, you say, oh, this spot's beautiful. It's perfect. By the time the food comes, that spot's gone. So that's why using lights is kind of safer for food shooters. But I try to shoot, if I have 6 plates to shoot, I try to shoot 3 or 4 different situations with that. So they're not all looking the same. Um,
Just
that one.
deciding what plates you're shooting. Are you orchestrating that or is the restaurant giving it?
No. So what happens typically is I get a note from Heather, is our restaurant reviewer. We used to have two, but now it's just her, saying what food she likes. But I also give the restaurants the opportunity to add things. Usually they just add more things. And, I emphasize if you have pretty things, give me those. Because I don't think Heather thinks about the pretty, whether they look good. So, and so I usually have a list of 4 or 5 different items. And so I'll show up. I ask them to space them out about 10 minutes apart or so. And so the whole thing takes me about 90 minutes typically to do a food shoot. Um, and that can change depending on the speed of the kitchen. Some of them can be very efficient, and a lot of them can just be terrible about how long it takes to get your food to you.
Hmm.
This is a new sandwich shop in the Barlow um, that I suddenly developed a lot of color lately. So
Oh,
I've been
great.
shooting with, I've decided color is good.
Yum.
Oh, go back.
Oh, sorry. Yum. Where
Wow.
I got,
Oh my
okay,
God.
I don't even know where this is, to be
Yes.
honest with
Beautiful
you. Where
colors.
is it? It's obviously a bakery. I don't know which bakery.
Is it Angelica
Mm.
Sarmentine?
It could be Sarmentine. I'm trying to think
That's
of the wall.
great.
Oh my God, I'm so terrible, you guys, now. It's all a blur.
It's
This
food.
is really this is what's it called? It's Dawn Ranch in Guerneville. They have a really exciting crew, these Brazilians that are doing really fun things. And so this is that setup with the softbox. And I always, nearly always have the light coming from behind, from the top coming back. So the shadow's falling towards the bottom of the frame.
Mhm.
And again, if I find a table like that at a restaurant, I am using that table. That's a fantastic background.
That
That's
looks
really
so
cool.
good.
I know. And the food spectacular. This one I tried to make kind of an old-fashioned feel. It's a speakeasy called the Grove in Pengrove. So I muted the blacks, right? They're not pure black. And I gave it this dark feel because that's the decor of the place.
Mhm.
For a lot of restaurants, I tend to focus on food uh, because I'm not usually there at dinner time. I'm usually there to do the food. I have to be there usually after lunch or before the dinner service. So I'll be there at 3:30, for instance. And for me to spend, 4 hours there, I'll just shoot an empty room instead, because I've got too much work to do that. But sometimes I get to do that. Street Social needs to I muted the back walls, but the back wall, that light there just turns it bright white, and they need to paint it dark brown. I can't convince them to do it.
Are
But
they
it'd be
still
so
there?
much better. That restaurant would feel right if they painted it dark brown.
Is that
Yeah.
still there? Isn't that in Petaluma?
Yeah, it's in that little
Yeah,
where the
little
Christmas
hallway.
store is, and these people are lovely and they work so hard, and yeah, they're lovely. Um,
Mm.
I do a lot of things like this. So I save all the food out, hopefully it holds up to time. And then after I shoot them individually, then I'll put them all on a table and try to do these big group shots.
Oh,
And a lot of them are not the ones I'm going to use as the main shot. Like this is a meze plate story, so this would be the main shot. So I'm going to spend more time on this one, right? But the other ones I'm kind of it's a throwaway, if that makes sense. Because I could spend forever on these photos, but I just don't have the time. So this is like a quickie, just throw it out there, just move some things a couple of times, and there's some things that are wrong and everything, but it's good enough for newspaper work.
Oh, great.
I love
I
that.
do a lot with, so again, this is the same softbox and everything, just triggered off camera and balancing with the light coming from the Hello Cupcake thing, the wall.
Wow, nice,
Oh, geez.
nice.
Yeah, they were so huge that it just seemed like I need perspective on them. So
In his head.
putting the person in. This is Acorn on the square in Healdsburg.
Oh my God.
These are the Brazilians at Don Ranch. So I put all these sort of portraits. I do some portraits of people, but again, I don't spend a lot of time on them just because of the focus is on the food, unless it's a very special celebrity chef or something. But
That's
these
a
guys were
nice-
delightful, and
Yeah,
they
the
look
they
picture.
If
Yeah.
they're going to do it, and sometimes you can convince them to have energy, but most chefs are just pissed at you and looking mad the whole time. And you'll tell them like, you tell them that as you're if you're photographing them, like the chef at I thought it'd come to me, the one in Sonoma. But the new fancy restaurant in Sonoma, he is so focused. He does not he does not smile, I don't even think ever in his life. And but I had to tell him, I said, Chef, you just look pissed off. And so he smiled like a half a second when I told him he looked pissed off. And so that was the one we used. This was one I did on a coffee shop that's closing and different, but all these people hang out and these guys came in and it's just one of my favorite pictures of the beginning of this year. It was like January and I said, this is already my favorite photo of the year. I know it.
Yeah, it's great.
I love it. We've stopped doing this, but I did have a few things where we did ingredients, but we're only doing restaurant reviews now. We're not really doing
Oh,
food.
Tavera.
So with John Ash gone, we've stopped doing that.
Yeah.
So this is you can see my light coming from low to the left at him, and then I'm just balancing it with the lights there.
Good catch.
And bread. There you go.
And this was me just, I was shooting it and we're doing a story on bread for the magazine. And I thought, well, maybe it works. And so I asked who had the best handwriting, and somebody had pretty good handwriting.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
And so when we're talking about ethics too, this is, a portrait. So I can do whatever I want with a portrait. I can have anybody do whatever I want. When I get to that in a few minutes, you'll see. This was just if you can imagine some type on the left and a full page in the magazine. That's what this one was for. So sometimes when it looks, wow, that's really an unbalanced photo, but it's not. It's just the
Is
type.
that pretzels?
Yeah, they're Schwaben pretzels, not Bavarian pretzels, which are Schwaben are people who left Germany after or during World War II.
Uh,
So there, I learned that.
Hmm.
That's Tisa in Healdsburg.
Tisa. Uh-huh.
Tisa. And this is my favorite. Gosh, that's a little. I sent this lens in after this shot. Do you see how the focus is kind of there, but not kind of there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the lens is just it. It's gone through. Let's see, do the math. 100,000 miles in the back of my car. Just the lenses are just bouncing.
Mhm.
And so our lenses just get the lenses get out of whack after 10 years or less. They just fall out of whack, and it's in the shop and they'll tell me it's not repairable and you have to buy a new one.
And then does the paper give you lenses?
Yeah, but not before I could get anything I wanted. Now
Yeah, I remember
I
that.
don't have two cameras that work. I only have one camera that works now. I don't have two cameras. I have Yeah, I don't have the right equipment. I don't have a lens that works with the system with the R5. I don't have any of the modern lenses. So yeah, everybody has better equipment than us, and we were always had the best. So
Yeah, you did. I remember.
yeah, it's unfortunate. But this is my favorite breakfast place. It's J&M Midtown Cafe. Just amazing breakfast. Just incredible. So of course I do drinks too. Uh, I did NA cocktails. So this was a non-alcohol cocktail. That's another NA cocktail.
Mm.
Yeah, and so here, when I see the light coming on the table, and then it's a matter of like how it refracts, adding that extra element, and then getting low and using glossy surfaces like this, I think really matters a lot when you do food and drink, especially. That's again at the the Grove, the speakeasy place, so it has that muted tone. But he's lighting uh the spritz from a lemon, so it
Huh.
flames up when he spritzes it, when he
Huh.
squeezes the lemon.
Huh.
And I thought I'd throw this one in. This is a sort of what an editor would see from me from a shoot. So this is what's the name of it? It's in Calistoga Solage, and this is
Oh.
they have a separate uh restaurant at the pool bar. So, and this guy does a special did a special sit down meal where he only has a dozen people, and he takes you through the courses and talks to you. And
Oh,
so he
Nice.
made me maybe 6 or 7 of the courses. So
Wow.
Hey.
oh, that's beautiful.
Jeez.
Wow.
Oh,
yeah, and so I'm trying to off center it. I'm using, you see how I'm using the circle around it. Um, Having it right in the center, I don't think would work as well, but
mhm.
same thing, I'm just the other side. Look, I flopped it. Lazy, lazy. But it's so good, you just let it go with itself. And this is all natural light for all this whole shoot.
Oh my God.
What
With
is
a
that?
drizzle of oil on
Very
top. And that's ahi with uh, caviar.
Oh
Oh,
my
geez.
God.
And you can imagine it's just a one bite. It's a tiny, tiny thing.
Ah,
Gonna
It's a
say it's hard
tiny
to turn.
taco. It's only about 3 inches long, maybe,
Oh,
okay.
wow.
something like that.
And that's a paintbrush with the oil on it, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I love this guy was so fun. He was just his
Look at
food was
this.
delightful. I mean, it just worked. So this you can see is me with a f2 lens here. So I have uh, I think it's a 100 f2 or something. Um, so I'm going with the complete out of focus background here because I know it's working.
Mhm. Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
So you see that I had an earlier shot where it was a medium shot. This is a close up,
Jeez.
and that's another appetizer.
Ooh.
It's art.
And then I want to give them a vertical sometimes of the same ones. So I'll throw in a vertical too so they can choose between the two. Um, but
And so who chooses, the restaurant or the paper?
oh no, the restaurant has no say in
Yeah,
no
okay.
person. They can't see a photo before we run it. So if anybody wants a photo, they can't have the photo until after it runs.
Wow.
Because they may say, "Oh, I don't like that," and that happened one time, and so that's never
So you don't
happened
do it
again.
anymore.
Is there-
Yeah, they don't get a say in anything. Oh, it's so funny when people demand to see the photos beforehand. It's I've had a few situations where they just take it all the way to the top and yeah, no. That's not going to happen. So anyway, that's what I do, nearly most of the time. That's what I'm doing a couple times a week. But I wanted to sort of from here, I thought this would lead us into AI a little bit too. So this is just some food I took to send to my daughter, right? And I just this afternoon went in and found something that I took with my phone and plugged it into Gemini, which is just the one that you have through Google. And I told it to, oops, where am I? That one? Oh, there we go. So I told it to change the light to have it come from the top of the frame down, like I like, and I told it to put it on a nice plate. That's all I told it.
Oh, wow.
And there's my
AI.
yeah,
Yeah,
Show the
much
previous
nicer.
one again for comparison.
that
Oh,
one.
okay, thank you.
Wow.
So that's the original?
What a difference.
This is the
Wow.
original, so all
Uh-huh.
this is all it did. So it just
Wow.
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 yeah.
It cleaned
and
up your salad.
the
Yeah.
most simple prompt. So you see the little Gemini down
Yeah,
at the
bottom.
bottom corner, so you know what's happening there. Yeah, it really did make my salad look much better.
Yeah. It was good.
Yeah.
You scraped it off the floor.
Amazing.
Everything.
Amazing.
Pretty amazing, huh?
Yeah.
Let me just
Very.
escape from
And that
this.
was Gemini. Gemini. Huh.
Yeah, and it's just in I did chat GPT, but I just was there today and just did it really quickly. Um, oh yeah, I'm gonna go. Hold on. Ah, not that. Just move. Okay. Uh, Let me show you. And so that led me into my assignment yesterday. And can you guys see what's happening here?
Mhm.
Looks
So
like a rock slide or something.
yeah, let's see if that makes it bigger. No,
Makes it disappear.
it
I
makes it
disappeared
disappear.
it.
Uh Here, let me go over here. Where am I? This one. Okay. So just to show you what I did yesterday, there's a plan to fix the trails that have been the plans
Yeah.
like has 12 steps. There are like 9 steps through to fix the trails in Annandale. So I had to go yesterday and I saw 4 people along the trails. And so that's those 2 of them. But here you have the roughest part of the trail. I waited for 45 minutes
Oh,
Oh, gee.
and then finally said, you know what? Nobody's coming. You know, it's too
keep
late.
going.
It's too late in the day. They're not coming up. I didn't see anybody when I was coming down. So, I could go back this morning, right? Uh, and go get it, but I had other assignments. I couldn't do it. The 8 ball changed owners. So, they want to run that. I like that, but
Yeah.
That's
so they
nice.
changed owners, and so I had to do that. I had uh, a book club meeting tonight at a winery. So I just don't have the time. But uh, you know, is this a bad thing? Let's just talk about AI. So I have this photo. Say a writer goes up and takes a photo of the trail. And I gave this prompt, add 2 hikers having difficulty coming up the rocky trail and make the light at sunset.
Wow.
That's what you got,
That's
Wow.
great. Oh,
right?
Wow,
neat.
But then
yeah.
I said, wait, that's probably taking it a little bit too far. So I said, keep everything the same, but take away the sunset light. So now we're back to my image, just with 2 people in it, right?
Mhm.
So
Wow.
if you're showing the trail the way it is this a bad thing? Discuss.
Well, for me, if you want to show the trail, you show the original image. That shows the trail. I mean, I'd take a look
Yeah,
at
but
that
it's
and go,
not
yeah,
an
that's
interesting image.
well,
You
it's
want to have
beautiful
an interesting image,
Well,
don't you?
It's
In
beautiful.
Annandale, they don't wear backpacks when they're hiking.
Oh, I know. This was just a
Yeah.
quickie. I know.
Not that big
But
anyway.
you get the idea.
Yeah.
You get that this is a weird slippery slopey type question
Mhm.
because it doesn't really harm the integrity of what's happening. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Because it is the trail and people do walk on the trail. So, that's one way to look at it.
So
John, how does it know how
Hmm.
big to make the people in relation to the trail? Because to
Hmm.
me, it looks a little off.
Right.
So
I like
I
the,
would say you especially just use the guy in the back because it takes away. There's a lot there in terms of
Right.
the. But I
Yeah,
would say
it
that
needed to show the trail more. They're covering up the trail.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Right.
I would have had one. So in my second prompt, I would have said, make it one person, make him a day hiker. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
That's
But,
does
but
that
I,
make it more ethically acceptable?
no, it's not.
What if you say
I,
simulated?
Nancy's been trying to talk.
Please do. Go ahead.
I would do is I would put in the caption, this is the trail as I photographed, hiker added to show
Yeah.
Right.
relevance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And
that's
that
ethical.
to me, I have integrity that I've given you what I'm photographing, and I'm trying to give you some context, and I'm being honest. That way
Right.
I accept it.
Yeah.
But the problem is that they're in terms of let me just sort of back up for a second and talk about ethics in general over the years at a newspaper. My instructor at San Francisco State, when he was working on the second edition of the book that every photojournalist uses who goes to school, who goes to college for photojournalism. It's the only book, and he did it. And when I was there, I was fascinated with the subject of ethics. And so we worked together on an ethics chapter and sort of his concept and was that ethics isn't uh, it isn't easily defined. That it's I wish I had a chalkboard to show you all, but basically it's a spectrum. It's a continuum. And on one side of it is where you can't do anything, and that's spot news. So if you show up at a fire, you don't say, can you go closer to the fire? You're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to interfere at all with those scenes. And then you go to the other end of the spectrum, and that's the portrait that I was talking about earlier, um, where you can do anything. You can dress them in clown makeup, you can do whatever you want, and it's all legit. And then in between, everything gets a little squishy because if we're interacting with people with a camera, we are influencing the situation. And if we show up, they're going to change what they do for us quite often. That's why I love kids, because they don't do that. They'll just continue to do it. Even if you say, hey, I'm from the newspaper, they don't care. They'll just continue to do it. Where
Yeah.
adults will change everything. And so there are things like, can you, if kids are playing uh, catch or they're playing pop up where they all run to try to catch the ball at the same time, but they're they're in front of a bunch of garbage. Is it okay to say, hey kids, can you just move 30 feet to the right and then just continue to do what you want, right?
Hmm.
Is that allowed?
It's a setup.
Sure.
It's a setup.
But they're doing the same thing. You're just saying move 30
Where it's
feet.
prettier.
Does that change the situation? And
It
therein,
doesn't seem unethical.
Mm-mm.
oh, I'm so sorry about my cough here. And that's one thing too, where I think that if the situations and every photographer has to kind of treat it themselves because there are no strict hard rules here. You definitely can't go up and say, hey kids, can you start playing catch and do it against that wall. I mean, I could take a beautiful picture every day if I did that. Um, so so that's what I'm saying. So we have, and then also magazines have a different ethic than newspapers do. So at Sports Illustrated, for the people who don't know, I worked for Sports Illustrated for about 22 years. Um, for a cover's advertising to them. So, there was when I went to work in the office as a young man when I got an internship, I edited a cover of a basketball player and they sprayed him down with water for sweat and they had him just grab a rebound and shake his head so the sweat would fly off him and made sure it was backlit. And it was a pretend photo for the cover. And that is seen, and for the past, ever since the cover of Day in the Life of America in the late 80s, it's become an accepted norm that magazines are a different entity than uh, newspapers. So you'll see that they have definite photojournalism there, but then there's also things that aren't. So we've all been looking at those images forever, but just sort of didn't know it because it's been faked so well,
Hmm.
if that makes sense.
Remember your pictures of Buster Posey.
Hmm?
I remember your pictures of Buster Posey.
Yeah, so in that situation, I can have him, and I did spray him down and dirty him up in one of the images and then cleaned him up for the other one. And I've certainly covered a rugby player in mud and I brought my own bucket of mud and sticks and grass to stick all over her. Um, uh, so ethics are so like for instance, I my ethics are very different than the other photographers at the paper. They think they're very strict in their ethics, but they're not. Um, but they don't they don't believe that you could pose the cover of the magazine, for instance, things like that. So, or that you can eliminate wires in a photo for the magazine. Um, so, but at the same time, they'll manipulate images, out in the field, uh, and that's okay. So it's a really weird um, uh, it's up to each individual photographer to determine their own ethics. But what happens is photographers who are really contest driven uh, tend to be way squishier than anybody else, is what happens. And many, many, many of them have been busted along the way for that squishiness. And
By whom?
usually it's the other photographers they work with that are too tired of them doing it all the time.
Uh-huh.
So there was a photographer in Sacramento, Brian Patrick, who amazing, amazing photographer. But, some readers caught him combining images. They saw that, wait, that one read right there is in the image twice. That's the same one. And then he had changed the the size of fires so insignificantly, but he changed them. And so he ended up getting fired from his job.
Mm.
And then another photographer, Manny, what's Manny's last name? My names are terrible. Won a Pulitzer for a story on addicts, and it turns out that he had bought them the heroin.
Whoa.
Yeah. So there are things like that
Yeah.
in the history of, yeah, it happens quite often.
Did they take it away from him, the Pulitzer?
I don't believe they did in the end. I'd have to see. He
Huh.
got fired from his job
Mm-hmm.
for it, but I don't know if they took the Pulitzer away.
Oh
Hmm.
my.
It's terrible.
Yeah, and that kind of thing happens a lot, to be honest with you. That kind, there's uh it, it's fascinating to me how uh what but now the can of worms is open with AI is the thing that it's going to be the norm, I think, very soon. So
Yep.
we have to, I don't know how we figure it out, honestly. Anybody
Before
have
the
any idea?
elections,
Huh?
before the elections, we're in trouble.
Yeah, and if you're listening to all the AI guys about what they fear, it's really scary.
Yeah.
The big thinkers. Um, anyway, that's sort of my main thoughts on AI and ethics in general. Did anybody have any questions?
Yeah, so where would you put National Geographic?
Well, they have always manipulated images from forever.
Oh,
So,
huh.
oh yeah,
I'm not
they,
surprised.
Afghan girl was not there. She was told to go into the better light. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
National Geographic photographers they shot with Kodachrome. And so they were, when they went to whatever country they went to, they were supposed to buy red clothing red clothing that was appropriate there and put it on the people they photographed
Mhm.
because Kodachrome loved red. And, and
Gee.
yeah, and
Interesting.
and all this stuff has been happening for years. I remember being trapped in a flood in Guerneville in the 90s with old TV journalists who said that they used to have what they called throwdowns in the back of their cars, where it was a bloody sheet, a doll, um, the things that throw down in front of the houses or whatever,
Oh,
or
geez.
cover up the reporter with a bloody sheet and things like that.
Oh, no.
I know. It's horrible. It's
What's the
horrible.
most difficult ethical decision you've had to make as a photographer?
Wow, good question. That is a great question. I wish I would have let's see.
Prepared for it.
I know because there's so many situations. Uh Speaking of which, the here, let me show you some. While I'm thinking about that, I do I have 2025 here? I think I do. Press that one. There we go. So this is my 2025, you guys. So this is why I can't remember because this is all the shoots I've done. Oh, here's the chef who won't smile at me from wait, it's there
Oh,
Enclos, the name's at the top. Okay, the kitchen is $1 million kitchen, and everywhere you look is lit perfectly because the people, it's a view kitchen, so they're on display. There's
well,
Uh,
his
there's the
antlers.
antlers.
Um, let's see if we can find a shot of him on display. So that's the window. Oh,
ah,
Oh, that was
Oh,
almost a smile.
smile. Saw a
yeah, that
smile.
was the one. Okay, there's the view. So do you see the lighting in
Oh,
there?
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Holy cow, it's beautiful, you guys. I mean,
yeah,
you
it's
don't
got
I
dim
don't need
light.
to bring lights or anything to do it in that kitchen. A
Yeah.
million bucks. Just
Wow.
crazy. Um, but so 30 years ago, we would shoot for one photo, right? Or two photos, maybe up to four or five at the most. But basically, we put all our energy into one great photo, and that's not the case anymore. So 30 years ago, I would process, that means, edit and then present to the paper. 30 years ago or 25 years ago, maybe 350 photos a year, 400. And now I did in back down at the bottom, you see is a little over 2,000 images this year that I processed.
Wow.
And way fewer assignments than 25 years ago, also. So I bet 25 years ago we had maybe double the assignments that we do now. So I'm just producing so many pictures per story now
Yeah.
is what we're doing.
And you said you don't get to pick them. What gets put in paper?
Right. So right now, in up until 5 years ago, photographers were in charge of imagery. If I said this is the lead photo, they would not change that. And now we don't, not only would they change it, they would never listen to us. They just grab whatever shape works for them. It could be the first one
Mm.
because they're editing or laying out the paper in Chico. Um, so we don't have a say. What you see is not our choices. So, and
Mm.
usually we don't take the paper because I don't want to see it. So, because it's too depressing to see what they do with. they'll
Wow.
put the worst photo in as the lead photo. It's just it's amazing. It's just
Wow.
yeah, it's
And
very
we
cool.
can't comment anymore either.
Oh, is there no more comments? I didn't even know that. So
I mean,
but things
comment
like
on the
this, like this,
photos?
like look at this. This is
And
like
any article.
Oh,
no
on the
comment.
article.
really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So this is
Oh,
one story on a honey shop, right? And I think we used two photos from this. But I'm producing that many for that's a hot honey. Mhm. Um, I think this was for the magazine. I think I'm leaving space for a cover photo, I think
Mhm.
there. Anyway, so you see that I'm just bouncing around everywhere. Oh, these look fun, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
Sunrise
Mm.
on a farm. Oh, love sunrise. Um, but you'll see that a lot of mug shots of the people who work for us. I have to do that. Never had to do that before. Um, but every Tuesday night I have to take a night shift, so I'm usually doing high school sports too. So, and each of these are thousands. I meant to figure out how many photos I took this year for these 2,000 images, but
wow.
it's a lot. Um, Run you through. Okay, good light.
Mm.
Mhm.
Sophia.
Nice.
Yes, and she looks like Sophia too. This is really good pizza in Petaluma, the
Oh,
Oro.
yeah.
Di
They
Napoli.
they ended up stealing all my photos for their website. I love this. I love this wall.
Mm.
Mm.
We had to quickly tell them they can't do that. Uh, just in case, does anybody want to see anything? If I'm just sort of rolling through, just to show you what it's like I thought this would be interesting, just to show you what it's like. This must be the opening of Pliny. Oh
Oh,
my
yeah.
God, we're only in February. That was 1 month right there, you guys.
Oh, goodness.
So
Wow.
here we got to go faster if we're going to
Yeah.
do it all. There it is. A reporter picture. There's that Mexican restaurant there.
Wow.
But there's nothing I didn't have. I can't tell you that I had a single image that I was proud of last year, unfortunately, in
Oh,
all
you're not
these.
proud of that picture of Ozzy? Oh my
Oh yeah, I'm
God.
going to show you those. Wait, here,
Yay.
let's
Yeah.
go
Oh,
do
they were the
that. There we go.
best.
Right
Oh,
over. Let's talk about that. I
Yeah.
forgot all about
Aw.
that. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
Um, so this is my shoot. Wait, let me see,
Oh.
which one is it?
oh, these are great.
Okay. Okay, it's
Wow.
by color class. Let's
He's
do it by
so
class.
cute. Oh my God.
Okay. So I am so lucky, you guys, because these are the people that work with the rhinos, and they're sitting 100 yards away, and I get to be right next to it and as quiet as I can. So they're all watching from back there, and that's their view. And so Isha's on the left, she's pregnant, and then that's
Otto.
Otto
Oh,
on
yeah.
the right, and he was just way interested in what was happening. And eventually they had to pull up cars along the way to keep him away. Because he kept just coming over. He's just trying to go over the fence in this case. And there's Peter, the owner.
Mm.
And so she would come in. So we show up. She had her water broke like 9 in the morning. So they saw that. And it usually is 5 or 6 hours, within 5 or 6 hours, they'll have the baby. This is their only their second one, but that's what they've heard. But we were there all day long, just staring at uh, rhinoceros vulva. So you see, you see
Yes.
right here. This is what I swear to God. That's all we did was. Do you think it's bigger? I think it's distended. Yeah, is it distended? I mean, it was me and just two two of the main keepers whispering to each other for. So I got there at maybe 10 or 11, and then it got dark. Uh, what time of year was this? I don't know.
In the summer, I think.
Summer, yeah.
Yeah, so we had to leave when it got dark. They didn't have lights or anything. And then she had the baby uh that day. So this is the second day when the keepers all came, but they still had to stay back. And oh no, that was the first day still. So so look, it's not as distended, so it kept going. It kept getting bigger, and we thought it was going to happen soon. So what I'm doing is just all day long I'm trying to get photos, right? Nothing's happening. So that's all you see the whole first day. I've got nothing. So then we show up at does it have the time on here? Here on the side. It's probably 6:30 in the morning.
Oh,
And we cannot disturb the baby, right? That's the main key. And they know they can trust me with that. And they also know if the baby is born dead, that we're not running that story about a dead baby, right? So it took me 20 years to gain their confidence in this way and to allow me to be in there as the only, as the third person. So this is my view. I'm trying to see him through things because I don't want mama to see me and be protective, right? So I'm hiding out, trying to do what I can.
okay.
Oh.
Peter.
And
Oh,
so again, we sort of figured out, okay, how to put me behind something. So, and then she moves farther away. So this happened. So during this time, I'm just shooting everything that's happening there. And if I back up in this scene, you're just going to see garbage and trees. So that's why I have to go in tight to them in this situation because there's things in the foreground that are in the way. And
And
what
you
I'm
stood
hoping
right
for
up?
is just that tiny little interactive piece. And a lot of these, I'm shooting these. Can you see my cursor?
Mm-hmm.
For the umbilical
Yeah.
cord. So I'm shooting for them also. So I'm giving them images so that they can double check what it was at the time. So those were all for them. And this is us when I was there even earlier than the two keepers, and that's when they arrived.
oh, look at him.
So finally, she's
Oh.
moved him far enough back where I can get, more full body images.
Oh, God.
And again, I'm just trying to get that interaction between the two. It's not a great scene. I would love to have a shot with, I'm looking for a shot with both of them full bodied
Mm-hmm.
to show perspective, but that was very hard to do. So what you're seeing immediately off to each side is going to be uh, out of focus foreground objects that I'm shooting through, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So I don't know if any of you saw the video, but in the video, the mom goes, so I'm trying to do video too. When she lays down here, she puts down her 5 or 6 thousand pound body, like that close to the baby. It was amazing when it drops, you can hear everybody's go, oh, everybody do that as you just think it's gonna crush the poor baby, but they evidently know what they're doing.
Oh.
So you see the ones with this is my crop that I put on the image. That means this was a selected image. And then you can also see my markings down at the bottom. I think I've told most of you, but I'll take the whole entire shoot and first I'll go through and select the ones that may make the cut. And then I take those and I make those green. That's a number three, and then I take all my threes and I pick the best of those to get to twos, and then by the end I get to a one. So for me, I shot 1,200 basketball images Tuesday night, and I had it edited down to 10 images in 15 minutes or so.
Whoa.
It's
Wow.
moving that fast, you guys. You
Wow.
know, it is that quick. It's on deadline that night, and I don't want to work that long, so I've just got to do it quickly. I may miss a shot every now and then, but I don't think I'm missing anything spectacular. So
And are you much more efficient because you're using photo mechanic instead of Lightroom or?
no, I think, you know what, if I have, say this was my whole shoot, this looks like it's mostly my outtakes,
Mhm,
then it would come in like this. And
mhm,
then for me to edit, I'd be in this window.
mhm.
And so I'm just hitting my button number three for anything that may make the grade. So I'm really going through this fast, and then I go, wait. In here, is there something? So I'll go back and do that, and then I'll just keep going like this. Okay,
I
in
like that.
here, there's an image somewhere in there. So then I'll go, which one is it? How about, evidently, that's green. You see the color down below.
Mm.
So I like that one, and I like that one. But none of those made the final cut. They just didn't have enough information, I think. Um, so I'm moving this fast, and I'm going, okay, none of this matters. She didn't have the baby. Wait, this shot there may work. And then I chose that one because, you know. So I'm also trying to fill the gallery because I know people are going to click through these. So I'm going to put way more images in than I normally would. They're going to be more redundant than usual just because people want to see the images, and we'll get a lot more clicks if I do that. So then, as you see, once I do that, then I go here to I just do it by color class now. And so all of these would have been green, right, through here. And then I take all those greens and I choose these yellows. So these yellows are my second edit. And then everything that was yellow, I got down to reds. And so my final edit was 13 images.
Hmm.
And then from there, I say, okay, what's too redundant? And then I'll work that. But you see so many are redundant. But let's go here and find it. There she is. So these are in order of how I like them usually. So my numbering system up here is a one at the very top. So it
Mhm.
lets the editor know, but they don't care anymore. So, but so it's the cleanest shot, but there were so many, I wasn't sure which one should be the lead anymore.
Oh.
Yeah, so look, I got a clean shot at least of it.
Mm.
And
Oh.
it's that interaction between the two. And a lot of time I'm shooting video and missing things also.
Ah.
Well,
But I'm trying just for
Love the
nice,
ears.
clean shots.
Hmm.
Mm.
Oh, what a face. Oh my God.
So
Yeah,
bizarre,
and
like
so I'm using a
Yeah.
really long lens. I'm using a 4 out there to try to do this because I
Looks
want to
like
be really
ET.
close at times so you
ET.
can see it. But this shot is important to have the whole body.
Yeah.
Oh, what a face.
I know.
wow.
So which one? See, it's hard to choose what the best
Yeah.
Oh,
one
yeah.
is, right? Because
Yeah. Oh.
They all say something
there's
different.
nothing that's perfect, right? There's nothing that's that shot. But and then we can only stay so long because we're going to disturb mom. So, the baby wouldn't we were there and we were hoping to get shots of the baby feeding, but once the baby wasn't feeding, then we had to leave at that point. Does that make sense? So, I get what I get, and I'm thankful
Wow.
for it. And then, I filled it out with the keepers having their first look,
Mm.
and I used that shot too. So
Aw.
Mhm.
anyway,
That's
that's
good.
Ozzy. Um,
Hey,
Wow, nice.
and as you saw, they just switched to a nonprofit. Uh,
Yeah.
so I'll ask, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do uh, any of my old trips that I used to.
Mm.
We'll have to find out. But before, I just had to go to Peter and Nancy, and they would just say, "Of course," and
Mm.
fine. So,
So now they'll have a board.
yeah. So there'll
Yeah.
be a regular board. Nancy can't be involved for a while, but they're still going to mostly run it. So,
Mm.
yeah.
These are great. These are
Well,
Yeah.
thank you guys. Yeah. Is there,
wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
yeah. And,
you.
and
My
that's sort of,
gosh.
it's just
Mm,
wild that
wonderful.
sometimes, what we're involved in, or like this one took me forever trying to get this silly shot of
Mhm.
this is in Dry Creek Valley. It's a living roof
Wow.
winery.
Wow.
And I got
Nice.
busted. First, I tried to get it without, I thought, okay, it's just an easy shot. It's just right off the road. I'm just gonna go get a shot. And I got busted by the owners on their property. Oh, it was so embarrassing. Luckily, everybody knows my name, so they were fine, but it still was embarrassing to get. And I was like, I swear, I thought you wouldn't mind. But evidently, people are always on their property,
Oh, because it's so
like a
unusual.
major issue. Yeah.
No.
Oh.
Oh, this is kind of fun. See, okay, this is one of the fun things I did. I got to go a nighttime harvest. If you guys
Yeah.
ever get the opportunity to do this, it's really a fun shoot
Yeah.
Oh.
because you're just using the ambient light.
Huh.
One of our
These-
members has a vineyard up in Healdsburg,
Does he pick at night?
excuse me, Florence Vineyards.
Uh-huh.
And he's let us come and photograph the workers, not at night, but during the day.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they do this at night. I suppose they do.
Don't they have to wait
they
for the
have to.
sugar to be right?
Excuse me?
Did they have to wait for the sugar to be right? And it doesn't
Yeah.
matter what
Right,
time.
but they
Yeah, it
pick at
doesn't matter what
night.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, they pick at night because if they
Cool.
wait in the morning, they heat up, the sugars change. So it's better to pick at night
Huh.
in general, or when it's certainly cool in the morning, but they finish at night. So,
Yeah.
and this
Yeah,
is
'cause-
that place. Oh, that's the couple who own Street Social.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
neat.
Yeah, so again, it's just that same setup with that softbox. So I don't bring out my big lights anymore. I haven't brought them out for 2 or 3 years. So it's all just a single light. So
So what's the diameter of the softbox you use?
it's not very big because what I want it to be is portable. And then with food, it's mostly for food and portraiture. So my softbox is a square, maybe 2.5 by 2.5,
Oh, okay.
maybe
Feet
3
or inches?
uh,
Yeah. So it's
feet.
about 30 inches. Yeah.
Feet, yeah, about maybe 30 inches, yeah, square. So the bigger the light source, the softer it's going to be, if that makes sense, right?
Mhm.
So
Uh-huh.
imagine a sky with an overcast. So it's got a big softbox over it, so it's soft light, you don't see shadows. But
Mm.
that little sun is only a degree of light, and it's going to give you the hardest shadow behind you, if you can imagine. So that Gosh, I've been to shoots where people will pull out umbrellas that are 20 feet in diameter. It's crazy.
Oh, wow.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Like, why would you do that? The
Yeah, you
difference
say
is
you
not
use
that.
That's
a
You just look
crazy.
really impressive. I
Yeah.
was doing my cover of Buster Posey with my old beat up, bigger softbox than that because I had my regular lights, but it was still only like a 4 foot softbox or something like that. But right next to this guy shooting just a trainer for Men's Health with this 30-foot softbox, and I'm shooting the cover of Sports Illustrated as a
Wow.
with my dirty softbox. It's so
Yeah.
dirty too, you guys.
Now,
It's
you use a
terrible.
flash, you said, and do you use all manual on that flash or?
Uh, no. So with that one, I like its automatic function, but if sometimes it can be fooled, so I'll switch to manual on those. But mostly I leave it automatic and then I adjust plus and minus.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So I'm just doing plus and minus just to let it go. Because I'm not moving the situation. If the situation moves, you can't do that. But the softbox is in one situation and it's usually lighting food or a person. So it doesn't, if you're not switching the light, then you can use that automatic. You don't have to do it manually.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Hmm. Anything else? Any other questions about technical stuff or?
Is the softbox on a separate tripod?
Yeah, and so and then I have three different sizes of tripod. I have a
Uh-huh.
small or a light stands. They're all on light stands. So I have this small little foldy one that folds down really tiny, but then it can be on the ground. That one can, I can set it up and it'll be at ground level. And then I have a medium sized one and a large one that I carry all the time in my car so that I can get that light to different sizes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And then in terms of my setup, I'm using three lenses typically, a 300-8 for football, things like that.
Wow.
And then a 70-200, which is what this one is probably. And then a wide. So I have a 16-35. And then one f2 fixed lens that I use too. And that's it. That's all I carry. Because we have to be nimble, we have to, and my lenses are all very old and in the shop. So let's see. Anything else?
It's wonderful.
No, you're
It's been
fantastic
great.
image.
Really
Thank you so
useful,
much,
really
John.
interesting.
Absolutely fabulous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and if I try to make it like to try to get it to where I show you like kind of what we really do, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Yeah, and so it's a lot of this. Well, that's not a meeting. That's a kid thing. This is a meeting. This is a Save Our Schools meeting. So I've been at this school board. This is Rincon Valley uh, school board. I've been to these like 5 times. Oh, that was Rohnert Park. Never mind, I lied.
Mm-mm.
Rohnert Park City Council. But it's going to be a lot of stuff like that now.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
yeah. And then a lot of young kids, whereas we used to have uh, everybody was there for 30 years. Uh, Nowadays, it's going to be a bunch of 23-year-olds that come in for a few years.
Cool.
I have a question for you, John. What's the worst thing that you ever forgot to take with you?
Okay, so I'm 63 now,
Mhm.
and it's getting bad.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Okay, this year I've never done this. I forgot a camera.
Oh,
Yeah, and I did it all with, you won't know, I did it all with a cell phone, and it worked fine.
Okay.
It worked fine. I was so lucky. I've not, this year I forgot a disc, a complete disc, so I had to use a cell phone for that one too. I've never done that before. So I'm entering my uh-oh phase of photography.
I've been
And I
there
have
for a
to, oh my
while.
God, I have to concentrate so much about, okay, what have I got everything? And yeah, it's pretty
You say you
terrible.
have a disc that you use, camera doesn't have like one of the compact flash cards or something like that?
Well, I have them, but they that like right now I'm supposed to have I have some on order and it's been 2 months. So
Oh,
it's a
that's
different animal. This one was interesting because
Yeah, it's
I
nice.
showed up and this is the weekly now, and the weeklies are so I had never worked for a weekly before, but now I'm working for the Sonoma and the Petaluma weeklies. And this was interesting because like I had an audience of like 7 people show up for this shoot. I've never had that before, but I guess that happens at a weekly. But
Okay, I have a question for you on this.
mhm.
Is it the lens that you're shooting with? Is it
What?
ethical for you to do like an automatic straighten in Lightroom or something like that? Or do you leave it as shot?
Oh yeah. So in this case, I am trying to get I have to get this shot through a gated fence
Oh, God.
to do it. So that's why it's wide angle like this.
Uh-huh.
And you can straighten it, but I don't think it looks quite right. Like sometimes I would have, if you tilt this one, on the up and down axis,
Mm-hmm.
it would
Where's the
probably look a
bottom?
little bit better. But to me, that's kind of
Manipulation.
yeah, it's in between for me. I'll do it sometimes, but this one isn't too far off, and I don't think this was a shot to show the whole thing. I think I wanted this as the
I
lead
love that.
Yeah.
That's
photo.
beautiful.
So, and again, I could shoot the long lens here, which, ideally I would have shot this photo with a long lens, right? And it would have looked beautiful. But because of a door, a jail cell basically in front of it, because it's a display. This is in, this is General Vallejo's
Oh, yes.
Oh,
wife's harp. And it was just sitting in a warehouse, and this harpist, somebody told her about it, and she went and looked at it, and so they finally brought it out and restored it.
Cool.
Cool.
Um,
Wow.
Beautiful.
wow.
yeah, and that's the thing about newspapers that every situation, like photographers mostly, except for newspaper people, can wait for better light, can come back at sunset or come back on a different day. We don't get to do that. This person is only available at noon today, or, for this 10-minute period, or she's coming from work in San Francisco. And so, and that's a difference between a newspaper photographer. That didn't work as a horizontal. Um, that's a difference between a newspaper photographer, I think, especially good ones, is that the ability to find that shot somewhere, in a shitty light situation or it's too dark, you know. Um, the in here, let's see. Let's get you to the too dark one. Ooh, I like this portrait too.
Oh, that's great.
Mhm.
Same
Oh,
thing.
the
I took him
colors are
to, that's
beautiful.
the one I used. I just saw his top and I said, "You need color, dude." And when we walked around the block to find a mural, and then I just put up my softbox again from the left, and it would look fine with natural light, but it wouldn't have popped like that light does
Oh,
to make it contrasty. Um,
that's beautiful.
Here is going to be, where are you? My God, there's look how many photos. This is still the same year, you guys. We just ended it. Wait. See, now I forgot what I was looking for.
Dark.
Too dark.
Dark.
Oh,
Yeah.
dark. Okay. So it was December, right? No, it was December. It'd be here. I'm looking for, oh no. Sorry. Professional photography. This is this year. Oh yeah, okay.
Oh, look. How'd you
So
get that
this,
sea urchin shot?
yeah, so we did a story on urchin hunting, right? And this is where you're like the writer really is impossible. Here, let me find. He says, "Oh no, I can't do it in November. We're just going to do it in December, and we'll go out urchin hunting with these people." Unfortunately, in December, you need a low tide to do this, and the low tide was 20 minutes before sunset.
Oh,
So I had 20 minutes to shoot all the urchin shots and everything for the story. It was just insane. Yeah. And before it would have been 2 in the afternoon, so I would have had hours to shoot. Instead, I get 20 minutes. So unfortunately, what I didn't do is I should have focused on in this story a tight shot of the urchins with somebody behind, but I ended up doing these group things too much. And so I never got the shot that I needed for this story, which would be to go in to an area where there was a good group of urchins and then be low so that you could see it. And they're all okay shots, but I kind of missed my main photo in this.
That's a good one.
mhm.
But still, imagine the magazine, right? You need a big double wide image with an urchin, with lots of urchins in it, and I never got it. And that's the thing, you're just faced with this situation. I mean, the good part is at sunset, when they're cutting them open, you get this, right? After sunset, you get their
Oh, yeah.
lights and this feel, of that. So you get one good shot, but you still don't see the urchins. So it's not your main shot of the magazine story. So I kind of failed at this. Later on, I did the chef at the Sea Ranch place using it, and that's his dish that he makes with the urchin. Um, but it is a bad failure, this one. So when the magazine comes out, I'm going to be really embarrassed by it. Really, it's I did not do this right. Do you see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
That I tried early on and it didn't work, and then I sort of gave up. But where these guys are pulling the urchins from, I need to be really low so you see
Yeah.
the amount down there. And it just
And on
didn't.
the other side or same side? No, because you want their face.
You'd have to be, that's what I mean. I'd have to,
Yeah.
ideally, I think I would have gone out with a regular urchin hunter and then worked with him to get a good shot. But trying to get a bunch of people doing it when they're trying to gather theirs in 20 minutes, it just didn't work. So that's the issue with,
How did you get the underwater one?
Yeah, that's what I was asking.
this one. Oh, sorry. This one was so I photographed, this is a woman in the Bodega Marine Lab
Yes.
who studies the urchins. And so this is a handout photo of,
Oh,
and
Oh.
that's an urchin that actually has good meat inside of it. The purples don't have good urchin meat.
oh.
So, and so she gave me this one too. But I did do a story with divers. Did I? I don't think I put it in the shoot where I did divers who were going to clear out urchins before, and I had a GoPro that I put underwater that has some underwater photos.
Mm.
So anyway, I've gone an hour and a half. That's a little too much of me.
That's great.
Oh,
Yay.
well,
Thanks,
thank
you guys.
Thank
you
you
very
so
much.
much.
Thank
you
you
This is
so
that.
much.
See, and
Always
this
a
is
treat.
another one where you're out in Kent went the next day, but this slide happened at night or
Oof.
just at dusk. And so I got there, just as but this whole thing washed away. But the pictures were much
Wow.
better the next day. But again, you just have to, it's pouring rain. We just have to sit out there and deal with it and shoot. It's awful. I'm not going to miss the big having to be out on rainy days for this. And like this shot here, to get this shot right,
God.
I'm going, and then I decided, it may look good with a wide angle, so I went closer, and the person, of course, accelerated at the end to get me
Oh,
and
Oh,
just wasted me, completely wasted me.
what a
Yeah,
dork.
I know. But that's the thing. I'd do anything for a photo.
went by laughing.
I'm gonna do anything, and then I'm gonna, yeah. And then the Caltrans guy nearly ran me over to
Oh,
tell me that I was in danger.
I,
Honestly, he did. He did.
From you, dude.
He drove right at me, and I had to jump out of the way.
God.
And
I saw that you were out in west of Monterey, just below where I live, where the 116 has fallen into the oceans, into the river.
the one earlier one that I showed, this one.
I remember seeing, and we saw it in the paper. Is that, yeah, is
There-
that, yeah.
This is the one that's just past Monterey,
I
where they
live,
had to divert the whole road. Is
I
that the
live
one?
right above that. I mean, I live the road,
Okay, yeah.
Dumping Road going up.
Yeah, this is when the tree fell. They just cleared the tree from here at right at dusk. So it took me 40 minutes to get out there after I heard it. But yeah, and they hadn't closed the whole street yet.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Kent had much better photos at
And Ken,
sunrise the next morning. Yeah.
Well,
Well, great. Thanks for listening, everybody.
thank you.
you.
Thanks for being
Thank
here.
you
Great,
for
really good.
sharing all this
Oh,
with
yeah.
us.
A lot of
Always
good
great to see you.
information. Yeah.
Yeah, I wish if we were together, it'd be so much easier to sort of be more interactive. I think Zoom is a lot harder for that. So,
It is.
Yeah.
but you know,
But you did a great job. So
I can
Yeah,
talk.
thank you so
Very good.
much.
Really interesting.
Yeah.
Really,
Yeah.
I mean, that is truly, if I were to say what's the most important thing for a photojournalist, it's to be able to talk to people and to be able
Yeah.
to sit down and honestly, these days it's the most delightful thing to walk into a restaurant and just to say, "Hey, ladies, they told me to find the most beautiful looking people for this photo, and you're the table." And it's just so much fun to give people their 15 minutes of fame, and so many people read the paper and everything. It's
Yeah.
just it's my interactions with people out there that is just keeping me going these days. They're
Imagine.
just like the shot of the people, the owners of the 8 Ball. We had the giggling and everything, and all the people that were there having their drinks. Everybody was having such a good time. It's just that part of the job I'm gonna miss in a year or so when I'm gone.
so a year or so, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit over a year. So yeah, I've got a heart condition, so I gotta definitely retire at 65. So
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you get access to Safari West after,
I'll give you guys a call and see if you guys want to do it
Yes.
again, and we'll see.
Oh,
you
know we
That'd be
will.
great.
See what's
Yeah.
happening. I have to
Yeah.
let it sort of sit for a bit
Yeah.
just to make sure.
I'm curious, when you retire now, are you going to still do photography? But what's your passion?
No, you know what? I'm so upset about the way the profession has gone
Yeah.
that I'm kind of uh I'm okay with just using the phone and watching from now on. But I have the greatest part about this job is I get to meet the experts. I said the greatest part about this job for two different things, by the way. Is meeting the experts in every field. I get to talk and quiz, chefs and uh, uh, arborists and, you
Coaches.
name it. And so the hobbies I've picked up over over my time at the paper have been varied and many.
Good.
So I'm a woodworker, a gardener, I will not have difficulties in retirement at all. So,
Good.
All right.
and I do a lot
Thank
of
you.
I do a lot of construction on my own house too. So,
Cool.
yeah,
Bird watching.
and bird watching. Yes.
Watching. Yeah.
All right.
Well, thanks you guys. It's always a pleasure. I know a lot of you we've met before, and we've had
Yep.
some good times at Safari West. So hopefully we
Definitely.
can do it
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
Good to see you again.
Keep us posted.
And then again, if anybody is really interested in this and wants to ride along for a day, just give me a call and I'll just find an assignment we'll talk about what kind of assignment you'd like to see. And you can
Wow.
just
You're
ride
going to get
along
swamped.
Yeah.
You know, I do. I offer this, and I usually don't. And but you can certainly do it. Just tell me what you'd like to see, and then I'll just call you when, there's not a lot of good stuff, I have to admit. You know, but
Oh,
there's
it's very-
definitely lots of food. So if you want to
very
see that,
kind.
that's easy. And the good part is if you show up, then I have to do a really good job. So it makes my
You
work
have to show
better.
up. Okay.
You have to, of course. So. All right, you guys. Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you,
Good night,
Thanks a lot,
Good
Tom.
night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Bye-bye.
everybody.
Bye.